And here we go, spawning down on the bottom left, representing Katowice Gaming. It is the Polish Hope Spirit in the blue.
His opponent looking to top this group from Dragon Venus Gaming, the GSL champion, Cure.
You know what we could actually have? I'm thinking about this group and I'm theory crafting it and I'm drawing it to its conclusion. So let's say we have, this continues as we expect. Cure ends up 2-0ing Spirit. And then we follow it up. Spirit manages to beat Neeb. And he ends up at 2-2. Let's say Rogue has gone 1-1 in his series so far. Let's say versus Dream, he ends up getting beaten and then wins versus Neeb or loses to Neeb and beats Dream. They're both at 2-2. They could end up in the 5th series of the day having who makes it through decided by a head-to-head matchup.
I would love to see that. I actually, the other question here is, if Spirit loses to every Terran 2-0, 0-2, because again, he did seem to struggle in the matchup, which also does make sense. There are really good Zergs in Europe. Raynor and Cyril, just world class. You have Clem in Europe for Terrans to practice against, and Marine Lord when he was playing. But even then, that is not...
Marine.
And Hero Marine, you are correct, actually. I can't believe I forgot about the biggest of Gabes. But that is
sometimes he's so big that you don't even see him,
Exactly.
Like you looking at Big Gabe's forehead and you're like, oh man, this is like a weird wall. And then you like back up a little bit and you're like, oh god damn, that was just his face. What? Okay. Whoa. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, you're true. It's like when you look at a mountain and you can see the base, but you can't see the peak. So it doesn't register in your head that it's a mountain. It's just the skyline. Exactly. But to go back to that thought, again, they're not as many top tier Terrans, and the TVT meta in Korea does appear to be often much stronger than the TVT meta in Europe. So the question then remains, if Spirit can beat all of the Zergs and he loses to the Terrans and therefore is going to beat Neeb because, again, Neeb is not looking all that great, is that enough to find his way out of this group?
Honestly,
wait.
Probably not.
Wait a minute, though.
Wait, sorry. Beats if he loses to all the Terrans, but beats. Oh no, if he loses to all the Terrans, but beats the rest, everyone else, yeah. No, he will definitely get out of this group. Yeah. No, he'll go 3-2, and he will almost definitely make it through. I can't imagine a player doesn't make it through this group with 3-2, but things can get very jumbled with tiebreakers, in which case it will come down to maps. But I think we're a little too early to be calling that. By the way, we should talk about this game a little bit and talk about the mind games at play. So Spirit, talking about Korean Terrans, this almost feels like a 1-2 punch of Dream and Cure. Dream went for the proxy 2 racks in game number 1, and now Spirit plays a little bit more scared. He goes for the double gas, and what does Cure do? In this game 1 of the series, he goes 1 racks expand. So he comes out of this. We see the drawn out conclusion where there's no engagements whatsoever, where Cure is just ahead in SCVs by a pretty significant number at this point. That's potentially the Korean Terran cabal working to undermine Spirit a little bit. Sorry, go on.
Hey, I was gonna say he's about to get even more of an economic lead here. His drop finds its way in, but no, the Cyclones, the Reapers, they are where they need to be. A couple Marines do get traded out, and now, well, Spirit, he's starting to catch up in the worker count just a little bit. But the upside of going for this Reaper expands, you get a quick 3rd base as well. So not only is Cure ahead economically, although again, we are seeing Spirit catch up a little bit for whatever reason, Cure is going to advance that lead even further. 3rd base coming down much quicker, which means fast orbital, faster 3 SCV production. And this drop for now, just going to find something. But I guess I should not be surprised as the way that Spirit is playing in this game, even as that late game against Dream was rough. And it was. Spirit does appear to be confident, or at least think that his best chance to win in this matchup is via a steamroll to the late game. So we're not going to see too much crazy aggression from the man super early, I don't think.
Oh my God. No, he can't get out. He can't get out. No way. And yeah, oh my God, that was such a wasted interference matrix. That was not a good move. Even if you get the medevac, I don't think that was worthwhile, but he is not going to get the medevac. Oh my goodness. I was just going to point out how this was,
wait.
a lock on boost.
Lost vision for half a second.
That was so nice from Cure, utilizing that little high ground pervert pillar to, wow, that was such a good little move. And that whole little interaction went so well for Cure. First of all, he kept, what was that? He had like, I mean, initially it was a 10 army supply commitment, but he had 8 army supply at the end, keeping, 20 army supply pinned back. And he knew about it too. And then he gets out, and not only does he get out with the medevac, keeps everything alive, he wastes an interference matrix of Spirit. Spirit is looking out of sorts right now. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, you talked about this in the last series where Spirit is very much a nerves player. He can be so good, but then he gets these big things where his life is on the line, things are getting important, and it just starts to not get as good. Much has been made of Spirit's ability to win games again. We're going to keep talking about this because we're going to keep getting Spirit's games. Cyril's practice partner, and Cyril saying, wow, this guy is really good. He's one of the best Terrans in Europe. And then he just does not show it in even online play, but in the big events. But now we got a siege up coming on up here. Vikings, they're posturing forward, and the tanks are in range of this third base, so it will force Cure to do something sooner rather than later, though. Cure's response, he's got to drop in the main base, and there is not a lot here. In fact, the extra barracks, they're not really rallying anything. We're going to see a Cyclone try to do something. But that is not all that successful. As SCVs are starting to go down. Auto turrets getting dropped here. This is Spirit's timing to maybe make something happen. The tanks, though, they're not going down just yet. The air fight. Spirit wins that one as the Vikings run forward. And now, wait, the third command center, it's burning. You got to repair that one, Spirit, or Cure, and he will, but he's going to lift it. And now the Vikings, they're doing some damage, but the repair is good enough. And behind this, Spirit losing so much here. 15 SCVs go down as the Marines finally, they get cleaned up. But man, that was good for Cure.
No, that was, well, I mean, Spirit's losing just a Cyclone, but will actually get pushed back in the air. So now it is good for Cure. It's very good for Cure. The counter drop got so much more done than it should have been able to get done. And now we've got 1-1 completing for Cure. Spirit way behind in those upgrades. Combat Shield started up for Cure, not started up yet for Spirit. The position will be held for a long time. And it's funny, this is a push that I always think of as Cure liking to go for this kind of 3 to 4 tank push on the third base. Raven does get picked off. That's a huge move for Spirit. But there is nothing spotting this. Okay, there is a tank on the high ground. And this does get spotted with the scan. But this tank does not cover the natural. And, Spirit's going to have to lift his natural. That is so brutal at this stage in the game.
Oh, he's getting broken on the backside, too. All those tanks, they're left alone. But actually, wait a minute. No, the landed Vikings, the Marines, they're good enough. Spirit just losing everywhere. And he's going to get supply block, too. Pretty smart. No, he's not, because he just doesn't have enough supply.
He just lost so much supply, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that's still 4 depots that he just lost. And, yeah, this is actually too many Marines. And there's, well...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's combat shield versus no shields.
No combat shield. That's a big deal here, and it invalidates a lot. That's 20% HP that he's missing compared to his opponent. So yeah, eventually this gets cleaned up because more stuff does at the end beat less stuff. But he gets out on the other side.
He's gonna get out again. Cure and saving units may name a more iconic duo. There's nothing covering the third base right now. A scan's gonna reveal that, and Cure will stim on forward. He should just go for the sensor tower right now. Oh, he's gonna get it with the tank anyways. This is looking so devastating. And now these Marines join up with the main army. There's medevacs ready to heal them. This is feeling pretty insurmountable for Spirit at this point. The position for Cure, I don't know how Spirit breaks it.
Yeah, Cure is just a ballerina trying to go toe-to-toe with a man with lead galoshes. This is going to work really well indeed. The biostims forward. Third base, it gets lifted here. And oh, the Marines, they're going to get it. Yeah, this is just a dead base. GG. Spirit down 1-0. That was impressive from Cure, just everywhere on the map, dancing around. We talked about how Dream was an octopus, a constrictor in the late game. Cure was a dainty little butterfly that happened to have a knife gripped in its talons. flittering around and then stabbing you in the neck whenever you're not looking.
Nobody expects the butterfly with a knife. You always just think, oh, what a beautiful butterfly that is. Nature is so beautiful. And you're just, absolutely stunned. And well, that's that's an analogy. Oh man. That was rough. That was a really, really rough game right there for Spirit. Good job from Cure. Really, really good job. And that counter drop got so much done. I was actually really feeling that for Spirit initially with the push on the third base. But Spirit didn't clean up the drop in the main base cleanly enough. He wasn't able to capitalize as cleanly. And once again, I hate to harp on it, but it really, really feels like nerves to me. It really feels like nerves have gotten a hold of Spirit because there's been a couple of crucial moments throughout these games. Yeah, it's tough competing at the highest level. It is insanely tough. I've competed at a few local tournaments for way less stakes and way less money at a way lower level. And I can tell you, there have been times where my hands, they just stop working. They just refuse to work. So I understand and I empathize just a little bit with Spirit. And honestly, I hope he can turn it around. Things are looking a little rough for him, though.
Yeah, I feel like beating Solar may have been the worst possible thing for Cure in this group. Or
for Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. He had to beat Solar, I think, but beating Solar in the first series of the day,
it puts so much more pressure on him. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate to say the least, because, well, now we're going to have to see whether maybe Spirit, in the short amount of time we afforded him between game 1 and game 2, maybe he can shake out the nerves, stand up, do a little dance, do something so we can match the ballerina in this next game. But it's here. No more time, no more prep. Game 2, and Cure, he's up 1-0.
And here we go, spawning down on the bottom right. Representing Kaiser Gaming, he needs your support. It is the Polish Terran player Spirit in the red.
And his opponent in the upper left, in the blue, he's up 1-0, looking disgustingly good for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Cure.
And you know what else is looking disgustingly good? Your production. Your production has been on point. Anyone wondering, you might be thinking, man, they really splurged for the B stream and must have got like 4 or 5 guys working on production. No, it is Beowulf doing everything. He has done all of it. And hold that thought. I'm gonna have to put this gassing you up on hold, because we have got something I don't think that I've seen in this meta pretty much at all. It is a 3 Rax Reaper play. Initially, I was thinking this was just going to be a 2 Rax Reaper, defensive against proxy 2 Rax Reaper, kind of the hard counter to it, in fact, but also very good at putting on a little bit of counter aggression, and it was something that Time found a lot of success with. But no, this is 3 Rax Reaper. He is going to try and capitalize on a little bit of Spirit's shakiness, and he wants to end his series right here, right now.
Yeah, that he is. He's honestly, you talk about this 3 Rax Reaper play, early aggression. Feels like something Alive used to do, although I guess Alive was 3 Rax Marine. And this has got to be part because Spirit looks super shaky. And if one thing the Koreans are really good at, it is just capitalizing on any little bit of weakness. But also, this is Curious Minds. There are good Reaper spots, and it is a short map. Spirit is not going to have the time to defend at all, as he does have a command center on the way on the low ground. We got to assume that's going to get canceled. And Spirit, for the first game in this series, Steadfast, there was no SCV scout. He has no idea that this is coming. Not at all.
Yeah, you talk about soul reads right here. This is such a good way of approaching the series. Cure opens up 1 Rax expand. Spirit knows that. And he's going to be thinking to himself, okay, I need to get ahead in a certain way. How do I do that? I don't scout. What does it cost him? Potentially the game. First Reaper goes down. Second one is just barely going to get away. If he loses that second Reaper, I think it's lights out. As it is, this defense is going to be so tough. He was building the reactor. Actually, yeah, no, he would have died right there, almost for sure. As it is, he's going to be able to pump out 2 Marines at a time. This command center will most definitely be canceled. And the fact that Spirit is leaving it up, I think at this point, oh my God, is he actually going to try and save it? I thought it was just literally to buy time. Reapers target down the heli, and it goes down. Another one almost falling. He's going to lose 3 more SCVs. Trying to save this was not the play. He should have just used it to buy time. And now the cancel comes down anyways, but he's lost 3 more SCVs and the other one would. And yeah, this is over.
Yeah, it's a butterfly with a bazooka here, not just a knife in this game number 2. Cutting off Spirit at the knees, and now the Reapers, they're diving into the natural. There's nothing much left for their hometown hero. SCV's on the run, building a second command center. That's a little bit ballsy, but no, it will not work out. Not at the end of things. His spirit is broken in this game, in this series. And now it is going to be so hard for him to find his way out of this. It's all dependent on a match potentially with Rogue. As at this point, he's just coming to terms with the fact that this game is over. There's not much he can do. 19 SCVs go down. Maybe these Reapers die in exchange because the tank is out. But it is 29 workers to 10 steadfast. No natural on the way. Kira already has his orbital on the way. I don't see a route out here for Spirit.
There isn't one. There is not one, and right now he should be thinking about saving his mentality. He should GG out right now. It is IEM Katowice. You obviously want to perform your best. It's not like this is, you know, game 3. It's not like he's 1-1 in the series, or it's not like this is game 1. And, you know, he is super dead, so completely dead. And all he's doing right now is hurting his own mentality by staying in this game. And we're going to have more SCVs coming on down. Cure is going to catch him as the drop from Spirit, the completely all-in drop from Spirit, is going to try and get across the map. I understand that he's trying to make something happen with this, but come on, you gotta give yourself a break here.
And this is this feels like pure tilt here. It's I'm not dead. You haven't killed me. Well, actually, no. You are dead. And if in a best of 3, maybe when you're tied up and you're taking a little extra time to think, okay, what am I going to do in the next game? Sure, that maybe makes some sense. There's not a lot of time between games, but this is a 1-0, and I understand in part you want to say, well, I want to make sure there's even a 5% chance I win this game. I want to make sure I take it because this is IEM Katowice. But this is also not the difference between him qualifying or not in this group. GG, there we go. Cure takes it. And Spirit